All right, young scientists, let's round out our last screencast for our acid-base unit by talking about actually taking our acids and our bases and reacting them together to do some chemistry. Acid-base reactions are also called neutralization reactions. They involve the H plus ions and the OH minus ions of our acids and our bases interacting together to form water. If our H plus ion concentration equals our OH minus concentration, there is no extra acid or base left over and it is neutral, thus neutralization. When we react an acid with a base, we're going to always make water and some sort of salt. So our super generic reaction here is HA, our acid with its hydrogen, plus BOH, our base with a hydroxide, makes water, and Ba, our generic salt. The really nice thing about acid-base reactions is that they always have the exact same net ionic equation. It's always going to be H plus OH minus makes H2O. So if we look at our example here, HBr, hydrobromic acid, reacts with NaOH, sodium hydroxide, to make water and sodium bromide. Our total ionic reaction is H plus Br minus plus Na plus OH minus makes H2O, Na plus, and Br minus. We can see that we have Na plus and Br minus on both sides. The only things left over in our net are H plus, OH minus, and H2O. This will always be your net ionic equation for any neutralization or acid-base reaction. Titrations are a laboratory technique that we use for determining the concentration of a solution by using another solution that we already know its concentration. The most common by far type of titration is neutralization, as we just discussed, and we're going to add either an acid to a base or a base to an acid until our H plus and OH minus concentrations are equal. Usually we do this by adding what's called a chemical indicator. So we talked previously about pH paper and how it changes color depending on if it's in an acid or a base. There are a number of other chemicals that do something similar. So if they start in an acid and we add a base, they'll change color when we hit neutral, or vice versa if we start in a base and add acid. We add a very, very small amount of these indicators so that they don't really affect the overall concentration themselves. Just to practice calculating here a little bit, you could do some stoichiometry to work this out. I'll give you a second to pause and look at it, although obviously my answers are already on the screen. 25 milliliters of 1 molar HCl, if it's neutralized by 25 milliliters of NaOH, that NaOH also needs to be 1 molar. The reaction's 1-to-1, so the concentrations are 1-to-1. If 25 milliliters of 1 molar HCl is neutralized by 50 milliliters of NaOH, since we have twice the volume, we know it's half the concentration. Versus on this third one, 25 milliliters of 1 molar HCl, if it's neutralized by half the volume of NaOH, we know that NaOH has twice the concentration and is 2 molar. So if we know the concentration and volume of one thing and the volume of the other, we can always find the other thing's concentration. So when you go to titrate to find the molarity of an acid, or a base really, you write the balanced equation, make sure you know the ratio of the different components, find the moles of the first thing used, in this case a base, by doing volume times molarity, find the moles of the acid used then using a little bit of stoichiometry in that mole ratio. Then you calculate the molarity of the acid by dividing by its volume. Since you just found the moles and you measured the volume in the experiment, you can find the concentration. As it says at the bottom, just flip the words acid and base if you want to find the molarity of a base using an acid. Now the cool technique here is using a titration column and a chemical indicator to actually gather this information. You end up, what you use is the unknown solution goes in your column, and the known volume and concentration goes into an Erlenmeyer flask or a beaker or whatever you want to use as your catch, along with a very small amount of indicator. Now, at first, you won't see anything necessarily, depending on what indicator you use. Here, the example is phenolphthalein, which changes color from clear to pink. But as you add more and more of your unknown, you'll start to see a little bit of pink show up, and as you swirl it around and mix it around, the acid and base will interact, and the pink will go away. But eventually, you'll get to a point where that pink stays and stays forever. And that's when you've reached your equivalence point. Now, the phenolphthalein is really nice because it's very, very sensitive, which means that just a little bit of too much acid or base will change its color from totally clear to totally pink. And since your eyes are very powerful color detectors, you can actually see a very, very, very slight color change, which makes this technique, for how low tech it is, surprisingly accurate. Now, when we practice this together, you're going to screw up the first 1 or 2 or 5 or 20 times you do this. This is definitely an acquired skill. You're going to see a lot of that too far cartoon there, where your Erlenmeyer flask is, magenta. You really, really want that super faint pink that tells you did not add too much to your solution. So let's wrap it up by practicing here. We have our practice problem, and it's been worked out on this slide. If we have 13.4 milliliters of 0.2 molar KOH, potassium hydroxide, and we add it to 20 milliliters of a sample of HCl, what's the molarity of the acid? So we have our balanced reaction. KOH plus HCl makes KCl and H2O. Once again, acid and base make a salt and water. And we can find the moles of our base by doing the volume times the concentration, 0.0134 liters, right, 13.4 milliliters, times 0.2 moles per liter, gives us 2.68 times 10 to the minus third moles of KOH. Now, since this reaction is 1-to-1, that means that's also how many moles of HCl we had. So 2.68 times 10 to the minus third moles of HCl. And then if we take our moles divided by our volume, we'll find the concentration. 2.68 times 10 to the minus third moles of HCl in 0.020 liters is 1.34 times 10 to the minus first molar HCl. You'll see us use a lot of scientific notation here because all of these things are very small numbers. Now, you might have just written out 0.0134, and that's fine. That works just as well. But scientific notation is going to save you writing lots of zeros when we do acid-base chemistry. Okay, let's do one more practice together. This time it's not 1-to-1. 27.4 milliliters of 0.0154 molar barium hydroxide added to 20 milliliters of HCl. And we want to know what is the molarity of the acid. So here our balanced reaction is BaOH2 plus 2HCl makes BaCl2 plus 2H2O. Again, base and an acid make a salt and water. The steps are really the same here. We take our volume times our concentration, 0.0274 times 0.0154, to give our moles of base, 4.22 times 10 to the minus fourth moles. Then we use our one step of stoichiometry and say, well, if we have 4.22 times 10 to the minus fourth moles, and you need 2 HCl's for every BaOH2, that means your moles of HCl have to be twice as much. And then we take those moles and divide by the volume of the acid. So 8.44 times 10 to the minus fourth moles divided by 0.020 liters gives us 4.22 times 10 to the minus second molar HCl. That's your concentration. Really, it's just these three steps, and I would organize them all into one stoichiometry problem. Like I would do volume times concentration, mole ratio, and then divided by volume, just because I think it's quicker, faster. You could, plug it into your calculator all at once. But if separating it out into steps helps you organize your thoughts, that's also equally valid. That's going to then wrap up our acid-base unit. As always, let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. There is a fair amount of math in this unit, especially compared to the previous ones. Please don't be intimidated by that. You have your calculator, you have the equations, everything's going to be fine. You just need to make sure that you practice. Thanks for watching these videos, and I'll see you in class.